Hi guys. um, this is all docked up. Look, normally I just hit record and we'd be like halfway into a conversation, but not
Right.
this time, I guess. So, everyone's looking lovely and healthy. We'll wait a few seconds just for somebody to come, like maybe anybody to come in, and then we'll keep going. So what a great documentary. Hi, whoever that is. Listen,
It
when
was
I say
alright.
great, when I say great, I don't mean like well produced.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I just mean
great from a nostalgia. Like this was a nice stroll down memory lane.
and the girl
Or,
gets it. The girl gets it.
okay, because I thought you meant great, like when they look at a baby and be like, "Bless his heart," you know what I mean?
He got some cute shoes on. That
You
baby
know what
know
I'm
he got some
saying?
cute shoes on.
Just
Right.
baby
No,
has an amazing personality. 2 days old,
Exactly.
yeah,
all that personality.
just so much. Good in the sense that it made me feel very nostalgic, but also like so much stuff that I guess I wasn't really paying attention to. And then like how they kind of like, well, we'll talk about it, but how they chronologically go through like beginning to the end of the show. You can kind of, now when you like think back about all those like random episodes you watch, like you can totally know what they're talking about. Like when the fucking show got real bullshit, like when they did the Thanksgiving dinners and shit, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what it's like.
It's so funny that you bring that up because I wrote that down as like a question to ask you guys. Like, did it help you like in your mind? Like,
Yes,
you like
I
remember
pieced
the time
together when
you,
it all
like,
fell apart.
like you looked up and you like accidentally caught like a episode and you were like, is this
Like the
This is what
carpet
we're
was a
doing
different
now.
color or some shit.
and then I like right and then like you could tell from like the set production like went up, so then like the set was like this kind of like farmhouse gray with like the lights on the side. Like it
Yeah.
got real, like the production of the set got really great, but the quality of the show just
got really bad. He added the two stripper
Yeah.
poles on the side. Those are not in the original layout.
Right.
And I'm glad they did not show us any clips of like when it got shitty when they were giving out like beads and shit. Like they didn't cover that part.
I mean, they didn't, but that was still in a
Him
good
and I
era.
just like, I would have liked to see. I would have liked
You
to see
know what I
it.
mean? I wasn't mad at the bead era. I understand. The stripper pole was bead era for a young nigga like myself. I was like, all right, you know what I mean?
Some quality television here.
You know what
At
I
2
mean?
a.m. because at that point it was back on at 2 a.m.
But this is, you
Right.
got to figure. I think at that point, shit, when Jerry started doing the beads, that was like junior year of high school. Nah, that shit was still in the 90s when Jerry started doing the beads. I thought.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
was
that
definitely
was like
still watching it.
junior year of high school, 2 in the morning.
Are we sure? Because the
Listen,
show was on a long goddamn
Yeah,
time.
the show was on
it
about 20
literally
years.
just
For the
stopped.
end.
It definitely was like 20 years that the show was on for sure.
You don't remember they used to have the little infographic at the bottom, Jerry Springer 25? Like it was like 25 seasons.
Yeah.
It went on forever. Like forever. The show is probably older than some people that we follow on Twitter. That is concerning.
Damn, when you put it like
so that was one of the questions I was going to ask you guys before we get into the documentary. Have you guys ever seen anybody on the Jerry Springer show that you know?
Not Jerry Springer. I seen somebody on the show I know that it was good enough. It was Maury.
Okay. Bonus question. I was about to say, was it Maury or one of those judge shows?
Yeah. It was a judge show. I was going to say, yes, I seen somebody know, but it was a judge show.
Now, I seen somebody I know from a judge show, but them niggas was definitely acting because they hairdressers out of Fayetteville, I think, and them niggas is best friends. But then
I know those are fake. Like I know that's fake.
Not a nigga from the Maury Povich show. I don't know him personally, but my cousin's hood, that's their man's or whatever. So I've seen him, I've talked to him. Nigga name was Tiger, I think. And that nigga, he was the nigga I want to say they told him he wasn't the dad, and the nigga started doing the worm and I don't know. Yeah, the nigga did the snake and all that other shit. But yeah.
Right.
I love that for him.
Right.
Okay, no, but so this is kind of how I found out Jerry Springer wasn't real anymore. So my godsister's cousin, my godsister's cousin was on the show, and it was like a love triangle like type shit where he was like, I'm sleeping with your best friend or like whatever the fuck. Like it was one of those episodes, and I was like, hey, like this nigga, whoop-de whoop whoop, like I'm fucking Jerry Springer. Like what's the deal? She was like, girl, that shit is fake as hell. And I was like, oh, okay, well,
Okay, great.
Didn't know, but yeah. So and then it used to always be a whole bunch of niggas from my hood that used to go, like, would be in the audience of Jerry Springer because when it was filmed in Chicago. And then also, what was the other one? Jenny Jones. Like, I would always see, like, niggas from, like, the hood, like, from, like, the blocks. Like what are y'all doing?
Like, in the audience having, like, the time of their life.
In the audience. Jerry.
Honestly, if I lived somewhere where they film that kind of shit, like, I would probably, like, go if I, like, could. If they were just like, hey, we got tickets. Like, do you want to come sit in the audience?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I honestly don't know why I didn't try hard enough to get on Jerry Springer. Not get on Jerry Springer, be in the audience of Jerry Springer. When I turned 18, I don't know why I didn't try hard enough.
I wanted to be in Jenny Jones' audience so bad.
Letting
when
they
started letting, like,
audience. I was gonna say when they started letting like the audience members like clap back at the people on the stage, like that's when that's when they're like prime time, they're hitting the mic around and they're like getting off their wittiest like little quips about the people on the stage. Like,
real shit.
To the girl. Exactly. Girl, I would have been hooting and hollering. And I definitely to the nigga with no neck in the back. Like that would have been.
Yeah, you know a show I wanted to go on with Ricky Lake. We can get into it, but I just wanted to say that Ricky Lake was the shit too. But we'll talk.
No, because now I want to know why Ricky Lake.
Why did I want to go on Ricky Lake? Like for me, all right. So
yes,
for me, this was the way I looked at daytime TV when I was a kid. Like that shit was almost like as good as cartoons to me. So Jenny Jones, for me, nobody was touching Jenny Jones. If you weren't Donahue or Sally Jesse, bitch, get out the way. Nobody was touching Jenny Jones.
Jenny Jones is the first time we got introduced to Genuine. Do y'all remember that?
You know what I mean? Exactly. And if we gotta keep it a buck, Jenny Jones murdered somebody way before Jerry Springer did. But we'll talk about
niggas do not want to talk about that. Niggas do not want to talk about that.
Right.
I did the same thing. We're gonna get into it.
And so
been that me, girl, probably still that girl. What's up, hype?
Right. So for me, for Ricky Lake to come on the scene and kind of like, she ain't really knocking Jenny off the spot, but I don't know why I was so in tune. It was two things I was in tune that most niggas like: daytime TV and the stories. Nigga, we can talk about when Babe lost that baby and got hit by the bus and disappeared, but we'll get to that any motherfucking way. To see Jenny Jones go from like, right, Babe had that baby, but to see Jenny Jones go from 11 to 10 o'clock, and I was like, and then Ricky got that. I said, oh, this bitch is. So for me, it was like. I was that nigga that for some reason was about the TV wars, and Ricky Lake just had the cool ass show. That doorbell will ring and shit, and you get to come on the stage.
Oh yeah, nigga. Like she was coming in the house.
Exactly.
Like who's at the door? And they'd be like, yo, fucking disgruntled ex-boyfriend or some shit.
Right.
Okay, so thanks to whoever's in here. We're all docked up. I'm Chris. That's BJ. That's Penrose. And if you didn't get the clue, we are talking about fucking epic fucking talk shows from the 90s. And one that has been labeled the worst fucking show of all time
ever,
according to
worst piece
of all of the
ever seen.
Like
every piece of shit you ever seen. Apparently, Jerry Springer was the worst one ever.
And yet the Office UK still exists. I don't. Anyway, this is about Jerry Springer fights camera action. It is on Netflix. It is not a full documentary, but basically a documentary broken into two parts. It's about, I'd say, less than 2 hours, right? About 45 to 48 minutes each episode.
Yeah, as I said, probably about an hour and a half watch, roughly.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad.
Come on, Scoots. Listen, we can't do this here, but I'll meet you in any arena. Like, it's dry. It's
you
dry
can tell that nigga's from
as
Ohio.
In between my fingers right now. Like, please stop.
You can tell that nigga's from Ohio.
Why would you come in here and do this? Like, why would you come in here and start this shit? Like, you already
because he likes to ignite war
by a ass thread.
I miss you, Scoots.
Like you already like you're like this close from being blocked because of college football, and yet here you are.
Real shit. We only fuck with you because you from the Midwest. Fuck that.
Like, we only let you make it because you
motherfucking like. That's it, bro. If you weren't from the Midwest, Scoots, you'd be blocked, nigga. Fuck that state.
Scoots. Come on, bruh. The British accent don't deliver a joke. Like tomato. Come on, Scoots. You're just here to cause child problems. Okay. So anyway,
this opened
go ahead,
in 1992 in Chicago. This is apparently when the OG Jerry Springer show launched. So Jerry Springer, like, basically they have a meeting with like all of the like journalists and news outlets, and they're like, hey guys, we got this new white man we want to put on television with all the other new white men.
Which I think.
Do you like this one? And they were like, I mean, I guess. So they're like, we don't know who he is. Basically, they're like, who is this person? So if you don't know, like Jerry Springer, all other bullshit in the second act of his life aside, is actually a pretty accomplished person. He was the mayor of Cincinnati for a while. He has a degree. He was a news anchor. Actually,
which is crazy. Like, I was just gonna say. That's
which is insane when you think about what it kind of devolved into. But at some point, like, he just very polished, esteemed member of the journalism community.
and if we keep it a buck, the way that, even though, like you say, what it actually turned into, the way that we got this nigga is because he was an esteemed member of the journalistic community, and his TV show was like, hey, we want to do a show. Let's give it to this nigga. Yeah, like, we didn't know who he was, but you had to be popular. You
tell the news at night. Tell the news at night and talk about sad shit in the daytime.
Right. That was it. That was the plan.
Yeah.
I think it is very interesting though. Like, so people give Oprah shit, but Oprah was a trailblazer. Like, Oprah was the only black lady doing it. Wasn't no other black ladies, wasn't no other black people with no show except for Montel Williams. I be getting the Montel
because you want to say Jordan.
You want to say Jordan Williams. Make sure I had the right one, the one that was selling like Money Mutual or some shit on like an infomercial. So I had to make sure I had.
We got Rolanda. We did end up getting Rolanda. Don't forget about Rolanda.
Oh, Rolanda, the bitch. Come on, you know
don't
Rolanda.
Remember Rolanda? Wait, you don't know Rolanda?
Rolanda was like before, like the pre-Tyler.
In the documentary where they give the list of everybody that was above Jerry, I wrote down. I was like, listen. As a matter of fact, it says, who the fuck is Susan Powder, Charlie Perez, Jones and Jerry, Mary Lou, and Dennis Fraser, right? But right before all of them, there's Rolanda's name. Rolanda was there.
I want to say she had like a bobbish, like I think she was bobbing.
I'm a Google it. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, please. Because like she was like how Tyra be acting like when she was trying to have a serious episode. Like that's how Rolanda acted every episode.
So we had Oprah, like, who was like top echelon. So we get it. So basically we're gonna sit with a few different people. And we're going to get this documentary through basically the eyes of the people who made Jerry Springer's show possible. We obviously don't hear from Jerry Springer. If this is news to you, he died in 2023. Sorry to ruin that if you weren't aware.
Prayers up.
Absolutely prayers up for him.
Y'all should have seen us before we pressed live. That's all I'm saying.
Prayers up for Jerry. Love Jerry all the time.
For sure.
So the first person we meet is Annette. So Annette kind of explains to us the way like daytime TV would work. Like, you had all these people who had like a daytime talk show, which is why we also have a critic who tells us there was nothing really remarkable about the Jerry Springer show. It was okay, but he was doing really what everybody else was doing. There was nothing special.
The same thing.
So, I mean, and who doesn't remember, like, if you were homesick or something and like you were flipping through all of the talk shows, you would just kind of flip until you found one that had something you wanted to like watch that day, like the most interesting topic. And so then he would just like flip back and forth through the segment, like guess. Oh, this segment's boring. Okay, let me go over here to Donahue while I wait for the, Sally Jesse segment to come.
Nigga,
like, yeah, you would flip back and forth.
I'm still thinking about Dennis Perez. I'm sorry, y'all.
Like, who the fuck is this nigga? Hey, what my man Tommy Davidson say? Who are these niggas?
I did look at that list, and after about 5, I was like, yeah, they just was letting anybody have a shot.
It could have been one of us if we were in our mid-30s at that time.
just a cute bob and a weird hat. We could have done it.
And two lazy boys. Like that's all you needed.
You gotta do at least one Ku Klux Klan show. Everybody did a one Klan show. You gotta at least do one.
Everybody
did a Klan
show. Jerry wasn't the first to do it. Was it Geraldo?
Nah, one Oprah?
It was.
Or was it Geraldo?
I think it was either Oprah or Geraldo, but I want to say like they did the show like they didn't have them out in like the robes, like they just kind of had them out. Like they had like the black people talking to the people that claimed to be like white supremacists.
To the
like,
white
they weren't
people,
like full-blown David Duke Klan. They were like. But I definitely remember that being like Oprah or Donahue. They would have them out, but they were there like they left the robes at home that time.
Why did that make me laugh that you said it like that? Oprah had the Klan shows on. Like what? Okay.
Like she had the, how they say like
she had the Klan market, nigga.
Hey, but listen though, is it
the Klan to Oprah pipeline?
But isn't it crazy though? That if in relation to what we're talking about, if you look at Jerry and you look at Oprah, did the Klansmen with a little bit of class go to Oprah's show, and the rest of them niggas were like, we're going to Jerry. We're going to Jerry.
We're going to fucking Jerry.
The ones that didn't,
because he ain't gonna make me take my hood off.
In public went on Oprah. The ones that didn't care about wearing their robe on TV went on Jerry Springer.
Take it to the Shy. Let's go, nigga.
Like, if they wanted to wear their hood on camera, then that's you go to Jerry. If you just want to come in your like Dockers in your sweater and just tell, and say the N-word, you go to Oprah.
There you go. I get to wear my hood, get $200 a limo and free alcohol and cocaine. That's it. We on the way. I Cheryl.
So Annette explains to us that basically all these people, like you want to do 2 million. She says the magic number's 2. You want to have 2 million people watching your show. She was like, Oprah had 12. They weren't aspiring to be Oprah. They was trying to just make it through every week with 2. Jerry Springer's at the bottom of the list. Wasn't nobody watching Jerry because it was just very, again, unremarkable. And it's so interesting to me because I don't think that Jerry is necessarily unremarkable. Like once he loosened up some on the TV.
You remember that show before it was good? Do you remember that original show they showed? Do you ever remember being a kid flipping through and seeing that? Never, right?
No, I had never seen that iteration, so it couldn't have lasted long. Like that had to have been like 6 episodes, and they were like, "Look, we're gonna cut the cord, or y'all gotta
get this nigga out of here."
It couldn't have been
back to the news desk
immediately. Right. Like this was cool, but you got to go sit back down and tell us something serious on the news. You can't do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they get a new producer, executive producer, because the hierarchy, before we go further, the hierarchy of Jerry Springer is that they have like Jerry. Jerry is not responsible for the guest, who gets on there, the talent.
He just come out with the cue cards and the microphone.
Yep, Jerry they put Jerry in makeup, they comb his hair a little, and Jerry get out there and show up and show out. He is not involved in anything else.
Jerry's like pretty much the president.
He's
like what the president is.
Pretty much. Like you get briefed. Yes. You're walking down the hallway, they're briefing you, they're brushing your hair, they're putting cards in your hand. The guest name is Susan. We're gonna give you the cues here. And then everybody runs out. So they get they have an executive producer who we sit with a lot of this. A lot of the story is told from Richard's point of view because Richard is essentially
dominant.
And I remember him being in that little off to the side, like when they used to go on commercial. Yeah, that little I remember.
At that time,
a lot of the
fuck he was, but
No, nigga, you know who I thought he was? You know, like the nigga that be announcing niggas to come on down on the fucking Price is Right. I thought that was
like he was telling them, you know, who was coming out next between segments or something.
That's literally what I thought. I was like, damn, why he got to be out here? Like, but whatever.
I used to think he was like the nigga that'd be like, "Hey, Steve, it's about to go down."
They didn't even have Steve.
He's the ref table. He the ref table, nigga. Like it's where you go get the powder and Vaseline and shit.
So Richard Dominic comes from like tabloid world. So he was on talk shows, basically toting the idea. Like, so think of the most ridiculous headline you've ever seen on the front of the National Enquirer. Like
that boy.
Yeah.
Fucking that kind of shit.
Ladies in love with Toaster, Bigfoot's love slave. I'm pregnant by.
Yeah, the Satan toaster.
Thank you. The toaster. The toaster.
I remember that as a kid.
Everybody remembers the toaster. If y'all don't know what we're talking about, the toaster, where it was like a news segment or whatever, and they went to this old white lady's house. She had clearly a fucking fire hazard ass toaster.
Old as shit.
And she said that she put toast in it and the devil will be drawing on her toast and shit. It drew a fucking upside down fucking cross. It fucking drew Satan lives on the toast, like from the toaster. And then at one part of the segment, like, cause he mad, like, but then and then at one part of the segment, like literal flames shot up out of the fucking
toaster.
Hey,
so when they
that's the kind of stuff he be trying to tell y'all happen.
Do you remember why she said she kept the toaster though?
Because it's a
good toaster.
Makes some damn good toast.
Because it makes some good toast. Fuck, I look like throwing this away.
I hope that for whatever they paid her, whatever they paid her to be on the news and lie about that toaster being possessed by Satan, I hope it was enough for her to get a really great toaster.
Listen, that was like
a 4-slice toaster.
They probably gave her 800 and she was lit. Like, bet we on.
She probably got a toaster. Like she might. Who knows? She might even got some shit that like made bagels.
Got the toaster. She got the damn. She got
with the little bacon tray.
Yeah, like she got some little toaster oven joint.
Remember the color bowls? Remember the color bowls your mama and your grandma had? She got them. The green, the orange, the red, the yellow.
Yes. They all fucking stack into each other, nigga. Come on, let's go.
She
was lit.
The big spoon and fork on the wall. She went crazy.
She was lit. She needed for nothing else.
Nothing. Good.
Listen, honestly, that's literally what the devil would try to do, is try to tempt you with a good toaster. Like, that's obviously.
The devil tempting you with great toast is sick.
I feel it is
diabolical, dare I say.
Like every piece of toast just come out great. Like
if it was me, it would be potatoes.
The buttermelt all perfect.
It would be potatoes. Like that would be mine. If Satan's gonna come to me in food
form, a French fry.
It would be a French fry. Like that motherfucker would show up as a steak. Would show up as a steak fry, and I would just be in Satan's army. Like I would just be in the number. Don't look for me. I have gone to be with my people. There are endless potatoes here, and that would just be it.
It's lit. It's up. It's up. It's stuck. It's
right.
up and it's stuck.
He's probably the first one with the foreman. Like, we good out here.
What's this?
Like, hey,
this new shit.
Hey, this CTE boxer got this grill coming out. You want to try it?
Like, Mary, how you making them burgers? You asking too many questions, bitch.
You want one or not? You want one or not? Like,
hey, you know what? If the devil got me, you know what it'd honestly be, bro? Chico sticks. I don't know why.
Not Chico. Not a snack I thought we left in the 90s.
I mean, do you want? I know you know this about me, but do you want me to get you some fresh ones?
I mean, I love the Chico sticks. Hell yeah. Either that or candy.
I was about to say, because it's really hard to find fresh ones. You saw my eyes even was like fresh.
If you got the fresh one, right?
I thought we've had this conversation before.
I mean, we had the Bucky's conversation. You know, I'm always down. But you got me peach rings last time because that's what I wanted. Them shits.
No, so way back when I still lived back. So Chico sticks are made in one place and one place only, and it's Lufkin, Texas.
Okay.
Oh shit! Really?
where I'm from. Like literally, I used to be the accountant at the candy factory. So when I said fresh, I mean the next time I'm at home, I'm going to walk into the doors, talk to the president, and get you some fresh ass Chico sticks off the line. Like,
yes. Like yes.
Do you know one of my favorite rap lines ever is I heard that she kissed Rob, I broke her Chico stick simply because the word Chico stick is in it. This is about.
I thought you knew this.
I thought you was about to say. I thought you were about to sing the Fabo song.
Oh yeah.
Oh na. Oh.
So there you go. Next time I'm home, you can Chico sticks for everybody in abundance. Fresh, clean, nice ones, beautiful.
Oh my god!
I need that. Yo.
My mother's gonna flip her shit if she fucking touches a super fresh, literally from the originals, from the source. Like
I'm going to frame one of them bitches. Straight from the line.
Put it in in some fucking when niggas be putting shit in that fucking. What am I trying to say? That clear
like
shit.
The shadow boxes thing?
Yes. Put in the shadow box.
I need you to send. I need when you send it, just send also a piece of paper with your autograph, so I can like.
You know what? I will have an Atkinson sign it for you. The man like he works there. He forces the entirety of the plant to watch Fox News.
No, you talking about something that really be heartfelt to me? Yes. Chico 6. Y'all think I love candy corn? Chico 6. Nigga, let's go.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay. All right, reel it in. But yes.
Okay, so Richard gets on here. Richard is like, fuck it. We finna do everything they told us not to do. Richard's like, show your titties, get out of here. Like, because the ratings were so bad, the show was on at 2 a.m. So basically, they were like, well, if we're gonna be in at 2 a.m., this might
remember that.
Girls Gone Wild. I don't remember this either.
Me neither.
Like I don't remember. I mean, maybe because I was sleeping, little like young. Like maybe I was.
Because I do remember like the later iteration being on at that time, but at that point, that was like it was like in syndication or like.
Yeah, I was about to say it was like rerun.
But that early shit. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit older than y'all, and even for me, like sneaking up and being up late high school time, I still don't remember.
I just don't remember it being.
Yeah. I remember. I remember start seeing it. Like I said, nigga, vacation. You skip school, you sick, some shit like that, but daytime shit, never in the. So, yeah. But then again, we got to think too. We got to think about TV at that time and where we from. So if everything started at New York, either they did New York or LA, because of ratings and shit, you know what I'm saying? We probably really didn't get this show until it got hyped.
It's true.
That is very possible. The Too Hot for TV era was like when the Girls Gone Wild tapes was out. Like that shit, it was titties everywhere. Like
everywhere.
You could always find
listen. If you go to Detroit back between like that time and all the way up to like 2014, you used to be able to go in a gas station and get these CDs called Chandler Park Gone Wild. And it was all shit that went down at Chandler Park on the east side that was killing Girls Gone Wild. Well, you talking about some time anyway.
Straight DVD. Not at the convenience store.
Just from a nigga that recorded it 30 minutes ago. Like, not off the press.
Now he's selling DVDs.
Our gas stations was like this. You could literally walk in the gas station and be like, hey, let me get 10 on 20, that Michigan jersey, them 3 polo shirts, and that Chandler Gone Wild DVD. What? Oh, yeah, a 12-pack, 2 loaves of bread, some red pop, and some eggs. Nigga, art, nigga, yes.
I'm mad Scoots got all the VHSs right now. Like,
Volume 1, 2, 3. I bought little 35 figures I haven't seen at that time. Real shit. Shit.
Holy cow.
Jerry, so Richard is like trying to get Jerry on board with this, and Jerry, being the affable gentleman that he is like, I mean, okay, and he's just telling Jerry, like, look, just go along with it. Like, we just gonna make this work. Like, you just be here,
trusting your boy.
Yeah, trust the process. Right. This is gonna be real cute. Just get up here and be yourself, and just crack some jokes. Like, loosen up. We're not gonna do nothing too serious. So
it's
you
like
won't
when
have
a nigga
to like.
told Mitch and paid in full to take this dope. That's the same shit. But go ahead.
Yeah, which is when, and so it just kind of went off the rails, right? Like just whatever story they could get. That's when we started to get like the people in the Klan robes, and like they had the KKK versus the Jewish Defense League. I'm not sure why.
Girl, and then they came in as Superman. That like
them niggas literally took Marvel versus DC in real life and was like,
it was crazy. Like they fought for like it was like the president of the Jewish League and his bodyguard showed up. Jewish people showed up to fight the Klan on daytime TV
to fight.
Not argue, not have a conversation and see if they could find middle ground. The man came out there with his cute Jewish ponytail and got to work. Like
and looked in the camera and said, "You can't talk to these people." Like,
and honestly, I feel like that was very early 90s, and that is a lesson that is evergreen. And maybe we need to bring that back. People are not getting hit in the mouth enough. Sometimes you just cannot argue with people about stuff.
Cannot.
I don't know. I feel like he had a point.
There used to be fights in basketball. That's all I'm gonna say. Bring everything from the 90s. Bring it back.
Yeah,
bring back bring back the 90s. I'll even admit that Jerry Seinfeld was the president of the 90s if you just bring it back. Goddammit. But anyhow, go ahead.
Oh, Jerry fucking Beebs.
Jerry Beebs.
Okay, so we meet Toby and Melinda.
Yes, we was already talking about him.
Yeah, we was talking about Geraldo.
Toby and Melinda are also producers on the show. So they have multiple producers. And what you learn is that the producers have to go looking for shows. So if you remember, there used to be like an ad that would pop up during the show that would say, if you had a story,
you stuck in a love triangle? Call this number.
Not sure who your baby daddy is.
A secret? Do you have a secret? Do you have to tell somebody?
Are you a secret stripper that only strips at house parties? Call 1-800-86-JERRY.
That was it.
You know what makes that funny? You know what makes that even funnier? It's because we all know a stripper who only stripped at house parties. Like we're from the Midwest. It just is what it is. I mean,
she called herself a dancer.
Exactly. She only did private parties.
Hey, listen. Hey, yo, I don't want to get off the rails, but one time when I joined the Navy, I came home and I took my sister shopping, and I ran into a girl who I had seen, and I forgot what song that was, but it was a song that just came out, and the nigga was like, "Are you a dancer? Like ballet?" And I swear to God, I see this girl in high school, and I was like, "So what you doing?" She was like, "I'm a dancer." And in my head, because of who I knew she was back in the day, I was like ballet. I'm really in my head like this bitch is on the stage in New York.
Ballerina.
She was like, nah, I dance at the Key. If you from Detroit and you know anything about the brass key, damn, bitch, like we had dreams for you, but any fucking way.
Oh no, she's on the lower tier. Oh,
I mean, the brass key. Don't get me wrong. The brass key had some hoes back in the day, but like I was young when the brass key was at its height. So to see a girl I graduated with work for the brass key,
like girl, we just graduated. You're too young to have your dreams dashed so quickly. You gave in so quick. You just gave up.
There's some of the strip clubs down here. One of them has a post like a billboard every year, and it goes now hiring class of 2024. Like now, so like. They can get started early, I guess. Like,
well, some of them dream, that is their dream, and I wouldn't want to knock anybody's dream. Toby's dad, because Toby has some serious daddy issues, and that is what like 85% of Toby's problems. Toby has apparently a great role model as a father. Toby's dad, whose name escapes me, but Toby's daddy was like the set production designer over at Saturday Night Live.
He had a real job, is what we're saying.
Yeah, Toby's daddy had a real grown
he worked on Star Trek. When they on the Star Trek?
No, that was Saturday Night Live.
That was still SNL. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. My bad. But Toby daddy got a real live ass job. And Toby's daddy was telling Toby, ain't nobody put you through college for you to do this.
Yeah.
He talked real crazy about it.
He had more respect for that nigga when he was a bartender. Think about that.
Yeah, the daddy was real mad because you have to keep in mind.
Hey, I'm a bartender, and I'm.
No, I don't. You know, I'm in the service industry. You know, I ain't talking shit. I'm just saying, like, nigga. I'm in TV with you, Dad. That nigga, like, nigga, this ain't TV.
Nah.
No, he was. Yeah, the daddy was definitely like not fucking with it. But by this time, keep in mind the ratings are like up, and like most people are not fucking with it. Like, it's kind of getting like Jerry Springer is very much a part of the cultural zeitgeist in a way that maybe a lot of these other shows aren't. Like, we remember them, but I wouldn't say that Phil Donahue was Sally Jesse Raphael or like the cultural icons that Jerry Springer is. And that's not to take anything away from them. It's just
absolutely.
It's just very different. Jerry was in a class all by himself, which is what Oprah said.
The only person fucking with Jerry was Oprah. That was
Jenny.
And Jenny, yeah. Fact.
So it just got weird. And so basically, Toby's dad and him don't speak anymore because he insulted Toby and was like, "You don't work in TV, your shit trash." So he basically is like, "Richard is my dad now," which is gross.
Weird behavior.
Weird fatherless fucking behavior from a man who has a perfectly fine father.
And also, even if he didn't, I just think as an adult, we can get past that. You can just have a normal life and not.
I think you pay a professional. I just don't think you make Richard your dad. I think you just pay somebody to get over.
Even if you use the term father figure, it would have went over a lot better. But then you literally said,
he said, "Richard's my dad."
Richard, my dad. Yeah. And he said right after everything, you ever think that? Like, Richard's my dad, right? Like, no, nigga, you still
no. He's not your dad.
Right.
So we find out a little bit of information because I love a little factoid. So 75% of all of Jerry Springer's guests come from this little Springer triangle, as they call it, between like Tennessee, Ohio, and like Georgia.
Yeah.
So all the guests are just like in this area. They're all coming from the same place, which makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense.
Ohio. Makes a lot of fucking sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Look at that triangle.
Yeah, it was, and I think subconsciously maybe we all knew this without knowing it because it was
You can't come from the flattest place on earth and have anything not fucked up happen to you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it's also a thing of like if you've lived anywhere else, like it's really hard for someone to manipulate you and take you fast the way that they need to be able to do for this show to work. If that makes sense. Not to say that they're like stupid or anything like that, but I think you have to have a certain level of,
it might be
you
Ohio,
have to have a certain level of naivety about yourself to be able to for this to work. Like you
ain't never seen a Cincinnati nigga on there, so I feel what you're saying. It's still Ohio, fuck them niggas, but I was like,
you have to have a certain just sense of wonder about Jerry Springer to be like, I'll come on there and tell you my story, which is what they said. Like they're jazzing it up, right? They're like, we're gonna fly you out to Chicago, and they pick them up in a limo, and they give them deep dish pizza because for some reason that's fancy.
If you ain't never seen it before, think about it. It's the 90s.
Guess, y'all.
I don't know. The limo part maybe, but I just don't know if you could like.
Hold on, wait. You're talking about a demographic of people who at that time, think about where the fuck we from in the time we talking, that region we from. You're talking about being from where we're from, and literally 20 miles down the road, there's people who ain't never seen niggas before. So a motherfucker get flew out. If you ain't never seen a nigga, you damn sure probably ain't never seen deep dish fucking pizza.
So this is the triangle. I just found it on IG. So like Kentucky, Mississippi, Georgia. So you got like Knoxville in there, Nashville, Birmingham, Macon, Lexington, fucking Cincinnati. Like, So I just wanted to show y'all that.
It makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Set of people. So like basically we have somebody that's on. Her name Melanie is a guest, and Melanie is actually the only guest from the show that is in this documentary, which I think is very interesting. for what happens in the second part of this. I was like, for what they discussed in the second part of this, it was very interesting that they could not get anybody to agree to come speak about their experience being on the Jerry Springer show, with the exception with this one person, Melanie. Now, Melanie's show was very tame by comparison, which is probably why they were able to get her to agree to sit down, because Melanie did not show her titties. Melanie did not like headbutt anybody. She didn't claim to be fucking a horse. In fact, she was being cheated on. So, you know, Melanie just kind of was able to be like, well, this sucks, and, you know, go home. So she tells us that they pick you up from the airport in the limo. They give you plenty of drinks. They get you shit-faced drunk. Apparently it wasn't the Springer at the level that we are talking. She was at Springer level like 5. She was not at Springer level 10. They were warming up.
Her show would have been exciting when they first got lit.
And also keep in mind that when the Jerry Springer show started to get like crazy, they were still keeping it like real stories. Like, we didn't start really getting into like the fiction. We'll talk about when that kind of turns because somebody loses their job over it. But like for the most part, like at the very beginning of like golden age, like Jerry, when they were having like the fights and shit like that, that shit was very real. Like that shit was very real. Because so sometimes you get a boring ass story where your nigga just cheating on you and you.
Yeah, I mean, in her case, he was cheating with a man, but I mean.
Yes. Oh yes. That was it. And he had to find out that way.
Yeah, he brought her on. They were going to get married, and he brought her on the show to tell her he couldn't marry. Well, he didn't say they couldn't get married. He just wanted to expose the secret. So I guess if she would have still agreed to marry him, they
would have just gotten, married.
They've just been in a lavender marriage. I love that for them.
Nah, it wasn't all fake. We all thought it was all fake, but shit. The shit, per the documentary, 99% of that shit was real as fuck.
Like up until like when you could tell that the fucking quality of the show was like lingering. Like that's kind of where it started to get fake and shit. But like some of like the best episodes you could probably think of was probably
the Clan show. The Clan show, real. The motherfucking any of the I cheated on you.
The fucking horse. Oh,
the horse show.
So the horse show. So that was one of the episodes that was like banned from TV.
That's how the entire fucking show starts. That's how the whole documentary starts, by the way.
It ended up being like shown in New York, but then they stopped it from showing anywhere else because they was like, hell no. Nah. Okay, so let me tell y'all something. So I was high last night and I was like rewatching this, right? And so then I like paused it and like went on like a fucking like you know one of these things. And so there you go. So then I fucking found a documentary that nigga, the horse dude, was in. And he lives in a trailer, or at the time he lived in a trailer with like 4 or 5 other people that were, what did they call them? I forgot. Like niggas that have relationships with animals.
So he lived in a trailer with other people that also practice bestiality.
Yes, but they say that the difference between bestiality is that they have that the animal also like has
loves
feelings
them back.
for them.
I do remember them saying that the animal loves them back, and that's why it's not bestiality. Because
so that's why they don't call it that. It's called not pedophilia, something philia, like fucking
something with animals.
Zoophilia. Okay. Yes, gotcha. I feel like that's the right answer. But anyway, so I didn't watch the whole thing, but it was like a British documentary where like they were like interviewing them, and he was just one of the guys there, and I was like, oh, that's the guy. Like that's the guy with his pony outside of the fucking window and shit. Yeah.
So this comes up about this time because Toby is telling us that they were under a lot of pressure.
Voulez-vous coucher, right? Like
Avec-moi bestiality. C'est la bestiality. There you go.
Right, whatever.
C'est la animal, whatever. C'est la pony.
C'est la pony. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, Mark calls in the middle of the night because Toby is like stressed. Toby don't got no show. It is the day before Toby like on the deadline in there, like free basic coke, crying because Richard gonna be mad. And like, I'm sorry, Toby. God bless you. I hope you are okay wherever you are.
Free basic cocaine is a
Toby. Like, you were too stressed out about this job, baby. Because why were you? They
even like recounting the stories was stressing him out. Like
you could tell he was like having a visceral reaction to having to talk about Richard being disappointed in him. Like, fuck Richard, bro.
Because that's his dad, right? Like
him leaning his head against that wall and blowing that cigarette smoke out. It might have been for a recreation, but that shit was real. That nigga was stressed.
Yeah, he was. Papa was stressed. He did say he wasn't gonna talk about it no more after this. That was a bad period for him. So Mark, so the bestiality show, Mark is the guy who's fucking a Shetland pony. He left his wife and his 2 daughters to fuck a Shetland pony. Apparently him and the pony got married in common law married in some type of civil service, down to the barn, down to the, the fruit stand.
In front of where they live, probably. Like,
I was like, I don't know where you get somebody to marry you to a Shetland pony. So wherever that happens is where that happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you call like a priest, like a real official? Like, do y'all get the Bible?
Probably just like the butcher or like.
You said like, do you have like the real shit down there for you and the Shetland pony, or do you just like call one of your friends and be like, "Can you write up I'm gonna exchange vows with this pony? Can you?"
I mean, think about
the pony don't even know what's happening. So like, couldn't you just be like, "All right, bitch, we married now"? Like, I'm like.
But think about the triangle we're talking about, and think
pony
about
can't consent. So,
how will we know if she wants a divorce? Like.
I mean, that's
like if she don't want to do that no more.
Yeah, like how do we know if the pony's unhappy in her marriage?
And I don't think this is legal.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna take it a step further. Ain't a pony an underage horse?
Ew!
Okay. or Shetland ponies are just like the miniature ones. So like, is that just like a small person horse? Where she just got to shop at. She just got to shop at Children's Place, but she don't. But you know what I'm saying. But she can go for a drink.
But she a grown horse.
Yeah, like
it's a grown Shetland in a pony's body.
In a pony's body. So exactly how do we know when she's shaking this shit?
So would a Shetland be a midget or somebody with Down syndrome?
Little person.
Oh, okay. Sure, whatever.
Okay.
He said, "Okay, all right, enough. Okay,
all right, Anyway."
So basically, none of us got to see that show because the bitch aired in New York, and then they was like, "You've taken it too far, Jerry.
Take that shit down."
So
he was like kissing it and shit. So
he did. He tongue kissed that horse in the mouth. I want y'all to know that.
Bro. You know how people be letting their dogs kiss them in the mouth, y'all? Y'all be watching the cooking shows and we be like, ugh, 10 times worse. This horse got big ass Mr. Rogers teeth. I mean, Mr. Ed teeth.
I just have to tell my dogs very frequently, like, this is a black household. Please quit trying to.
We don't fist bump in this household.
You're black. You're back. We're black. What is wrong with you? You've lost sight of something.
That's as far as it goes.
Like you lost the plot. We're black. Don't do that.
I might let you nuzzle on my feet. That's about it.
Yeah, whatever this kissing in the mouth. I don't know where you picked that shit up, but cut it out. We don't do that.
Hi, Jay.
So you went over your white dog friend's house today, huh?
Oh, so that's why you came back here acting like this.
I did take him to the dog park, and we was the only niggas there. So I feel like they picked up some bad
dog walker. The dog walker told me he took you to the park, found out he took you over his girlfriend's house. That's where you picked this shit up.
Kissing that white lady on her couch. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Mm-hmm. All for a Chick-fil-A pup cut. Get the fuck out.
Well, some little girl in the park kept trying to pick Duke up and was like, I just want him to lick my face. And I was like, girl, he bites. Don't touch him.
Ew.
She wanted him to lick her.
Like she wanted him to love her so bad, and I was like, little white child, that's not what that dog is about. That one's not going to love.
First of all, his name is Duke. Like he sounds like all he wants is problems. Like
he was not interested. Like he wouldn't play with any of the other dogs. He was sitting on a fucking rock by himself, staring into the abyss. Like I had like harmed him by bringing him outside. So I cannot imagine why this little white baby came all the way out of her way away from the other dogs to be like, I want this fucking troublemaking menace ass dog to like me, girl.
If we could get a reverse of the Rudolph the Red-Nosed song, that would be what happened to your dog that day. That nigga didn't want to play no reindeer games. Bitch, leave.
He didn't want to be bothered. He growled at every dog that came over there, and she thought she was gonna bring her whiteness over there and make him want to behave and love other people. No, not that. No. But
okay.
So the second part of this opens, by the way, somebody died. Sometimes we have shows and nobody died. This we thought this was one of them. It wasn't.
We definitely thought this was a no death situation. It's not.
Hey, we pride ourselves at all docked up to try not to bring you death. Actually, that's a
lie. I want to say that because I'm actually hoping we can ramp it up next one. So
yeah, I was like actually hoping we could do some serial killer type shit. Was hoping for multiple deaths next time. Sorry, guys.
Was definitely hoping for a body count.
Maybe we need to just like have a section where we just go like three shows in a row.
Oh, that sounds so terrible.
Murder.
It does.
Murder. So like in '98, they have a production meeting, but it's like just the senior staff and the like the producers. They're all standing around on a Saturday. Jerry shows up and they like, what you doing here? We canceled or something? And then Jerry just says, "I'm sorry," and walks out. Jerry fucked some of the guests, y'all. I didn't know this. I didn't remember this breaking because that is the beauty of the 90s and the early 2000s. The internet did not exist in the way it does now, so something like this could be kept mostly under wraps.
I remember this, but I remember seeing this in the tabloids. So at that age, being old enough to realize that the tabloids was mostly bullshit, so I wrote it the fuck off. Didn't believe it was real.
I have a question about the time frame. So I don't think I remember this happening, but I also thought that it was interesting that they didn't bring up the Ringmaster time. And something tells me that the Ringmaster's like movie situation came up like after he got caught with those prostitutes, or the guests. Sorry, not prostitutes. The
well, they were. Yeah. They were sex
workers. They were something. They were sex workers on the show. That's what they came on there for, yeah.
Yeah, it was some show in that vein.
Hold on, the Ringmaster movie.
Yeah,
like so that is
wasn't that his movie?
Yeah.
With Jamie Presley.
Yeah. So I was like, it was like 97-ish, 98-ish. So I think that's about right. And it also got left out. I thought that they would mention that, and it just never.
I definitely thought they would have mentioned that. But they don't bring it up. But I think it kind of that had to have been all in that same era, like him getting caught, and because like the way that they like brushed over it, like it wasn't that big of a deal, and how people stopped talking about it immediately made me feel like they used that to capitalize to make a fucking like a Jerry Springer movie, like you know what I'm saying? Like wild, like. Yeah,
I mean, in those days, that's probably what it was used for. It didn't work out the way it probably was meant, but
yeah,
98, yeah.
So, y'all, Jerry was in there kissing on bitches. It was
in the bed, shirt off, and
I mean, but let's keep it a buck though.
Doing the things.
Bro. You're single. You're definitely divorced. You're single. You're powerful, and I mean, they wasn't bad, but. Come on. You ain't think Jerry was gonna fucking
think that it is the juxtaposition between the show being so ridiculous and then Jerry Springer being this very accomplished, very calm kind of like you said, like Ringmaster, like very much this is a circus and I am, the ringmaster of said circus, but I am not involved in the actual fucking circus. I control
I'll give you that.
So I think it just kind of created this divide in people's minds. Like Jerry's, you know, Jerry's got a little riz, as the kids say, or whatever, but not like, you know what I mean? Like
little riz,
but you wouldn't be like, yeah, Jerry fucking, like, it never occurred to me that Jerry was fucking the guest. Maybe it should have, but
no, it didn't occur to me then. I think now it's something like
well, like now Stephanie, probably yeah, but I think at the time
it's something like Stephanie, Stephanie from
I think that's that. Like when you, I think that
when
was
you look at it through your adult eyes, it's different. Yeah, no, for sure. Back then, it was like, nah, Jerry, no. It's like hearing something about your dad. You're like, my dad wouldn't, and then you get older, and you're like, that nigga did that shit. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what it is. Very much, he was like a cool dad. Like, these people are doing all this fighting, but then he would get on the end of the show, sit on the stage by himself with the mic, say something
with the final thought.
Yeah, say something very profound, and then tell you to take care of yourselves and each other. Like, these people were just pile driving each other. Like, he would do it every fucking show. People were coming out on the stage, not saying words to each other, and just like flinging themselves with like a Superman punch at the other person's face. And then Jerry would be like, you know, sometimes in life we're dealt bad hands. You know, it's in us to persevere and become better people through the struggles that we endure. Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself and each other.
Like, it just ever, like, he would get up there and say some crazy psychological fucking warfare shit and be like, remember, you was kind, you was smart. And then, and then after they were just beating each other the fuck up. So of course nobody was like, yeah, Jerry Springer fucking the sex workers on the show. If you'd have told me Jerry Springer gave them some fucking strawberry candies out of his pockets and told them to go home and visit their family more often, I'd have been like, yeah, okay, I can see
that. That checks out. So before we get into the second part, and before we start talking about the death that happened, right? Because we were just talking about this, it just made me think about this. So the final thought is literally just a final thought. But a lot of people, when this show was like, you know, at its like height, was like thinking that they could come to Jerry Springer and like he would be able to resolve the issue, right? So fix the love triangle, or he cheated on me, but he ain't gonna do it no more because Jerry told him so. Like, a lot of people like were really genuinely thinking that they would come here with a problem and would leave with an answer. And that is not the case.
No, and I mean, the producers are very honest in that they, you know, they were there to create chaos and confusion. They were hyping these people up, you know, like they show us like clips where they were like getting these people hyped up in the, what's the meme that keeps going around? Well, not the meme, but the shit's going around to just two stupid bitches telling each other exactly like it's that. Like they were just hyping each other up like two. Like, it's that. Like
you just gonna let your sister like sleep with your man, like really like pushing her, like being like, what you gonna do about it, bitch? Like,
when she told her she
turn
was
up
like,
on that hoe.
She was like, well, you could just have him, and she was like, nah.
Wait, no, you got to go out there and fight for him.
Yeah, like, ain't you mad? Like,
you're not mad he took your man? Like, what, bitch?
Because if it was me, bitch, like.
Okay, enough.
Oh, is it our co-host?
Yeah, these niggas are fighting like they on Jerry Springer. Bye, get out.
Jerry.
Right.
Get your little white ass out of here. Bye.
Why don't one of my lights just go out? That's pretty.
Because you got ghost. Jerry Springer, he's there.
Ooh,
I know, right?
Jerry, the ghost of Jerry Springer. He about to give you a final thought, my nigga.
All right.
Wait. Remember you got high and you asked us if the ghosts be wearing like Air Force One underneath like their ghost clothes.
What's under there?
I put this shit all the time.
It's like, what's under there? Like, let me see. Like, I'm just like, if I don't get haunted by a fucking ghost in a FUBU jersey, like, I don't want it. Like, keep your Victorian nightgowns to yourself. Like, I want a nigga who died fucking leaning and rocking.
With the fucking loafers. I want him to come with I want him to have on his nightgown, a tie, his glasses, and some goddamn loafers. Come on.
I want a nigga with an upside down visor and a fucking FUBU jersey and some fucking loosely laced Air Forces. Like, if you're not coming like that, get out of my house, bro. Like,
you want the ghost of 2005 at your house?
I want a nigga that died leaning while he was rocking with it. Like,
you want the ghost of 07?
You know the time traveler from 2005?
The ghost of 106 in Park, bitch. Like, that's what the fuck I want. Yes, y'all feel me? Like, I ain't got to keep explaining this. Y'all understand what I mean? Like, real shit. Like, he be like, hey, yo, boo, bitch. Like,
hey, the time traveler from 2005. That you want that nigga?
Like, I want a nigga that's about to like steal my roaches. Like, do like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
do something.
Scare me.
Don't be over here.
Like, I know I had a half a blunt here. That's just crazy.
Like you want to walk in your house and be like, where did this 3X jersey come from? Like,
yes. Who's fucking super long white tee is this? Like,
right. Throwback All-Star jersey, Julius Erving.
Why smell like fucking the fucking Paris Hilton men? Like, why does it smell like this? Like,
why does it smell like blunts and black ice in my car?
Why does it smell like this? Oh, I'm terrified.
Oh, God.
Who's Shiesty? Who's Shiesty is this? Like, oh my God.
Oh man.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
All right.
So this time the scandal is over. So
Who's scrolling? Whose LED fucking belt buckle is this? Whose spinner chain is this? What the fuck? That's what I want. That's what I want. And you can keep your Victorian nightgowns and your fucking candles on this fucking. I don't want none of that.
That weird ass fucking hat with the ball at the end. I don't wear that.
Yes.
Like, come on.
Like, why does everybody's depiction act like nobody died after 1874? Like, it's not making sense. Anyway,
why don't
he could leave some Jerry beans.
That's the sound that wakes me up in the middle of the night. Or nigga, just not even the chirp noise, just like the ghost busting through the chirp, like how niggas used to just bust through the chirp without the fucking ring. Like,
where you at?
Nigga, yes. Oh my God.
Why ghosts don't ever just start off? Why they don't have ghost movies and you just see like the pair of shoes hanging from the motherfucking the phone line, and the nigga just appear. You know what I'm saying? All right, bro. Take care. But anyway,
okay. So part 2 of the documentary. Yes. We end the first part on hearing that there was a fucking tragedy, right? We hear about, and this is, I don't know how, the way that they do it on the documentary, it seems like it was very close to like when Jerry got in trouble with the girls, but I don't know what the actual time difference in this was.
I couldn't really tell either, so I'm not going to lie to you, but I think all of this kind of happened between like 98 and maybe like 2000-ish, give or take. Okay. Maybe, but I'm leaning because I say that because the divorce lawyer says that they go to court like 2001, and they had filmed the show, so they had to have filmed the show that year. So I think we're a couple of years removed from the scandal. So maybe like 2000, 2001.
Yeah. The scandal was 2000. When it all happened was 2000 for sure.
98.
Because I just remember her son saying it.
Okay. So yeah.
So we meet Jeffrey. Jeffrey sits with us and is telling us what a lovely person his mom is. On the show, his mom is announced as Nan, but her name is actually Nancy. So we get kind of a backstory about Nancy. Nancy meets a gentleman, is a widow, and she raises her 2 sons. But she gets lonely. So she does what anybody in the early 2000s does. She gets on in an AOL chat room. And hits the little ASL joint, and Ralph appears. So, shout out to all of you that were lying about your age in chat rooms. Hope that you are out there prospering. I'm sure we all are.
I just hope that we're all alive. Like
it's amazing that any of us are alive, to be frank. The 90s.
Seriously.
Ladies and gents, I know all of you in the chat are here, but if you ever scroll across this on YouTube, young children, if you come across this, the 90s and the early 2000s were a wild time. We were just outside and on the internet was
so insane.
Yeah. Before there was any like,
you just did whatever with no
of the internet. Yeah, bro.
There's just no oversight. They fucking released those candy colored iMac fucking desktops, and bitches.
I had the blue one. Oh my god!
Web mastering class, learning how to make websites on GeoCities, like we were gonna code everything, and and we didn't. We just made backgrounds on MySpace. But the point is,
that's all. Right. That's all.
But the point is,
none of us made careers out of this.
We didn't do it. Some of y'all probably did. We didn't. But the point is we were doing it. And the internet will let you do any goddamn thing. You could be anybody you wanted to be. No one knew how to track you. They know shit about no IP addresses. You could just say some ridiculous shit. You used to download ridiculous shit. You used to fuck up 18 desktop computers trying to use LimeWire. It was wild. But they had AOL chat rooms. You could get in the chat room. I used to be Spirit Sprinkle 17 in the chat room.
I don't remember mine. I wish I did though, like real bad.
Mine was drunk by myself. It was a Nas song. I remember that.
Oh shit. Yeah, I don't remember mine.
Well, Nan probably did have one, but it was probably something regular. But Nan meets a man from Germany named Ralph. And she started talking to Ralph, and then Ralph convinces her. Ralph took her fast, first off, but that's neither here nor there. Ralph took her fast because he couldn't find no bitches in Germany.
Right.
And so then they was in love, and so she flew Ralph over here so they could get married and be together. And within 2 minutes of Ralph being over here trying to get a green card, he starts trying to put her head between the washer and the dryer immediately. Trigger warning for domestic violence. I'm just gonna say that now. I am really gonna try to gloss over those parts because it is a hard subject for me. And Chris, like we're just not going to do that today. But Ralph and Nan were in a domestic violence situation, and Nan was trying to get out of that. So they got a divorce, and she kind of had moved on. Everything was kind of okay. And then somehow Ralph convinces her that they should try to work things out. And you'll see why this is kind of odd, because Jeffrey is saying that he does not understand why she went on the show. And we find out later why she went on the show, because what she was told and what actually happened there are two very different things.
Two different things.
Totally different things. Yeah, man.
So she's divorced. She's gotten away from this man. She's gotten away from this man. Somehow she is being convinced that she needs to go on the Jerry Springer show. Her son thinks that she just got really lonely and just thought that, her and Ralph could work it out or whatever. So they go on the show. What happens on the show? What happened on Nan's show?
So, just to so she went on the show thinking that he was coming out to tell his new girlfriend that he was going to try to work it out with her. That's the only reason she came on the show. So just wanted to clear that up. So when we see the clip, we've got the girlfriend on this side. We've got Nan on this side. And Nan is just because she's sitting there like, all right, bitch, I already know what's happening. Like, you can do all this woofing. Like, I already know what's happening. Then fucking Ralph come out and he kissed everybody, right? And then at the end of it all, basically, he tells her that I'm gonna be with the girlfriend and I don't want to be with you no more. And she just was like, honestly, y'all, when I saw her face, the way she looked, I thought she was gonna have killed them. Like,
yeah, facts.
Because she just it was like
you can see the crushing,
just enough emotion where you could see that like it affected her, but a scary under amount of emotion, if that makes sense. Like
you should be, like you would be more upset if this was all the emoting you were gonna do. But if you were the kind of person who likes to get even, this is the correct amount of emoting because you have to save your energy to go plot to do something horrible.
Yes. But instead, she just was like, fine, have him. And she gets up and she walks off. Like, she's done with it, whatever, like that. One of the producers stops her as she's back there and like, hey, Miss Girl, if you don't go back, I don't really know how you gonna get home because it ain't gonna be through us. Like, you promised us basically a confrontation or whatever. You ain't giving it to us. You need to go back out and see what you gonna get. Like, and so she was like, definitely not doing that. Get out of my way. And Nan basically is wandering the streets of Chicago until she gets to the bus station. And she's like so distraught. I'm assuming this is kind of where she's like breaking down because she's like, what the fuck? I don't have no money. I can't get home. This nigga lied to me. Like, they embarrassed me on TV. And her son was saying that she was never a person that liked to be photographed. She didn't like to be in front of cameras and stuff. So for her to have been on this television show and like you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's seeing her, like, that had to have done something to her when she don't even want to take a picture for her family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So a stranger fucking, yeah.
The story, go ahead.
Oh no. So the stranger buys her a bus ticket basically so she's able to get home.
And I was gonna say
that's basically what happened.
So yeah, and I'm curious. I wonder if this was common practice on like other shows. Like, were they also telling guests like, "Hey, we won't like give you a return ticket home"?
Yeah.
You don't and say like, were they? Like, I'm curious if they were the only ones. Like,
I could see Maury. I could see Maury doing that.
They said that though, like that was the only way that people was getting tickets home. Or maybe they insinuated that. Maybe they didn't say it.
Well, no, they just said that before they. Yeah, but they said that they would tell people before they came, like, hey, if you're not gonna produce, then you might as well not come. And so so when they come and then don't produce, like, it's there. It basically, y'all. I know it sounds terrible, but the producers were literally fighting for their jobs every fucking week. So whatever they felt like they needed to do in that situation is what they did. Yeah. Unfortunately, right?
To get ratings, they wanted to stay employed. I mean, yeah.
Because we did gloss over the fact that they did outbeat Oprah on her ratings for a couple of weeks, and so at that point, when you beating Oprah Oprah is fucking Shale Khan, like she's the fucking motherfucker to beat, right? So she's at top, she's top tier. You beat her, like the only way you stay up there is you got to keep punching these other niggas down. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so they were literally grasping at anything possible for them to stay on top, like stay relevant.
Which is how they ended up doing by basically Oprah people were like, the only way that you beat Oprah is these shows are fake, which at the time they weren't producing a bunch of fake shows. But then we find out that basically Jerry's gotten so big that people are calling in and making up stories to get on television. Which
because they heard about the fucking free fucking limo ride and the fucking.
I mean, if we think about it, not in this documentary, but ever since it's funny because ever since we decided we was gonna do this documentary is when I seen this clip start floating around Instagram. But shit, D-Ray and goddamn Corey Holcomb was on Jerry Springer on some fake shit. Like, you know what I mean?
A bunch of the girls from Baddies have been on Jerry Springer.
Yeah, I mean, like you're doing what you think is going to give you 15 minutes of fame that you can capitalize on and make something else. So they had two people from Boston, and Melinda's like, I should have known that they were faking me out because we don't get people on this show from Boston. Fair enough, Melinda. Right. I don't know what they would need to do there. But it got her fired. She is sitting with us in this documentary, but that Def got her fired because that was a fake show. And she basically said the only directive really that they had was, you need to vet these people. Do not bring me a fake show. And that's what happened. So then where she gets fired for the show, then we got Nan and her show. So Eileen, I think, is the other lady's name. Ralph tells her that him and Eileen are married. So not only did they bring Nan out there,
yes,
then they tell Nan that they're married and he's gonna stay with her after Nan slept with this man like
the night before
for 2 nights. The whole time they was there,
yeah. So which goes to show Nan thought that they were reconciling. But I will also point out, now that I think about it, in the show, what Jeffrey says, which I don't know how true this is, but Jeffrey says that they told Nancy that Ralph had been deported and the show was going to fly him back to Germany to be on the show so that they could reconcile. She had no idea that this man had been in the United States this whole fucking time with somebody
with another bitch. Yeah,
she didn't know Eleanor was coming to the show. She didn't know none of that shit.
Whatever.
Or the title of the show.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. She didn't know what the title was. She would have never came.
So we can go to the night that it aired, right?
Yeah. So like 2000, fast forward like 2001. At this point, Ralph and Nan have got back together after this. They do the show. At some point, they buy a house. They break up again. Ralph, for whatever reason, kicks Nan out of the house that she's purchased.
Yes.
And
she's living out of her car.
A domestic violence victim because he's still beating her. So they go to court. Eventually, she gets a lawyer. They go to court. And in 2001, she wins a court case. She gets a restraining order. She gets her house back so she doesn't have to live in her car. They leave court. Ralph goes to a bar, gets shit-faced drunk, and the show airs.
At the bar.
And
he watches the entire episode, getting drunk. So watching the episode, and basically at some point says to somebody in the bar, like, I'm about to kill that bitch.
And then goes to kill Nancy.
And proceeds to kill that bitch. Like,
just craziness.
Stomped her skull. Oh, sorry, I know we weren't talking about that.
No,
but he fucked her up.
He did. I mean, it was goddamn bad.
He strangled.
Strangled her and then like slammed her head into the ground. That's got to be a terrifying way to die. Like all bullshit aside, like all jokes, that's got to be a horrific way to go with somebody just repeatedly, like I can't even. But
and if we got to keep it a buck, yo, you talking about the way her son described her. You talking about somebody who, in relation to what we know, seems that she took this man back twice in the relation of really wanting to be with him and thinking he had changed. And she fucking bought a house and let him move it. She really wanted to love this man. So to be murdered by this man in that way, y'all can only imagine like what her last moments would have been like. Are you fucking serious? Like I'm off. You know what I mean? Like when you really put yourself on the line for somebody, and this motherfucker turn around and do some shit like that. Like that shit is. That's wild.
And then went on the run with his new wife.
With the girl from the show. Like,
So then they go on the run and they're looking for him in connection to this brutal homicide. So Toby says that Richard tells him, "Oh, we all gonna go to Jamaica to hedonism too, and do this swinger show all at once." And he's like, "Well, who's gonna go to Jamaica?" And Richard's like, "Everybody. Everybody's going right now. Pack your shit.
We're going."
Richard
said that never happened.
He was like, "No, he was like, you have to plan to do this. Like, there's no way I could have just orchestrated this on short notice."
Time out.
Richard said, "I don't even know how to hog tie."
My nigga, as soon as Richard said that shit didn't happen, they showed Jerry Springer in that pool. That shit reminded me of, I ain't never stuck my feet on Eddie Murphy's couch.
Oh, I remember stuck my feet on Eddie Murphy's couch.
That's exactly. And it was like, we never did that. They immediately went to the shot that nigga Jerry in the pool. You know,
in the hot tub with the bitches. Like,
yeah. We're in Jamaica. Like, nigga, what you mean y'all never went? Like,
well, I think Richard was saying that the plan was never for everybody to go.
For everybody to go, right.
And Toby was saying that may be, and you can say what you want to, but it sure seems like everybody that would have been important enough to subpoena was in Jamaica. Not saying all 80 of us went, but I'm just saying the top 20 people on the subpoena list was in Jamaica.
Yeah.
I didn't know that kept you from being subpoenaed, but you know, I figured they just.
Yeah, I was about to say because you went to
I mean, they went to you get back.
They subpoenaed you when you got back.
Yeah, like, hey girl. Nice hand.
You
look great. Those braids look a little stupid, but you're back.
But yeah, cop work was lazy. One of our first shows was the 7-5, going from the late 80s to the early 90s. Cop work was lazy. Okay.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
So basically, they're just saying that they feel like the show is responsible for Nancy's death. None of them are ever subpoenaed, by the way. And this is going to sound, and I don't know if this is controversial.
Do you think? What's the answer? What's the answer?
No.
Yes or no?
No,
say
not
no?
at all.
No.
That the show is responsible?
No.
No, not at all.
That's what I'm saying. Again, like we were saying, somebody else got murdered. Jenny Jones, when they had the love triangle and the guy was gay and he came on and announced his gay feelings for his friend, and then then they shot the friend.
Yep.
Did
him watching this show become a catalyst because he was drunk? Yeah, but what we got to really focus on the fact that he was drunk and he allowed his feelings to get in. The show he was
already a convicted domestic violence offender.
He was beating bad enough. The show. Yeah.
And then they were like, well, nobody vetted him for the show. They're not doing background checks on these people before they bring them on.
They're just trying to make sure the stories are real.
We let a nigga who fuck a horse on the show. You think we ran your husband's police report, bitch? No.
Didn't.
And I don't mean to call her a bitch, but like, no,
it didn't happen. I mean,
the show had nothing to do. The show had nothing to do. If it did have something to do with it,
it wasn't like the tiniest snowball that like avalanched into
because think about it. If it was
I don't think so, because what happened on the show that was such a trigger for him?
If it was the show, he would have murdered her right afterwards. What happened was he was pissed off about what happened.
He was mad because he lost his goddamn house. He was mad because he went to court and lost, and then seeing her sit up on the stage and just not give a fuck again, so much so that she was like, I would rather let a stranger buy me a bus ticket in the middle of goddamn Chicago than sit up here on the stage with you for another goddamn minute.
Right.
No, yeah, I definitely hear you. I definitely hear you.
Like, had nothing to do with it.
I can't.
It was more so the court like outcome.
Yeah.
That kind of drove him over.
I mean, because think about it. Like the show, they didn't know. They knew the show was coming out in 2 weeks, but they didn't know what date it was. So it ain't like he got out of court and purposely went to sit down and be like, "Oh, my episode is airing today." Just so happened it aired that day. So I don't think, you know what I mean? So that's like my whole thought process is he went in that bar to sit down and have a drink. If the fucking Yankee game came on and he still would have fucking murdered her, did the Yankee game have something to do with it? You see what I'm saying? I think in that essence, yes, seeing her on that screen, it may have been a sort of catalyst, but I don't think you can blame Jerry Springer and that show and say that because they were on the show is why she got murdered. No, not at all.
Right. Okay.
I will say I think it's a slippery slope when you make that argument. Like I think because then like with Jenny Jones, like they dragged Jenny Jones into fucking court and had that lady on that stand. Well, it's your fault, and do you think? And Jenny was like, "The fuck you mean? Like I ain't do shit, man. But show up, look at people headbands on me."
So
you know, like it's
with that one, like I don't want to say this. So with that one though, so the show happened, right?
She could have stopped it though.
No. Okay, fine. But I'm let's be done with the show when the show was already recorded and stuff, right?
Right.
When they went back home, that boy kept bothering that boy.
Yeah, that's
when people are not comfortable with like their sexuality or unsure about things and things make them feel weird, you know what I'm saying? You can't keep egging somebody like that on and not expecting something to happen. Not that I expect like that he would have expected him to murder him, but like if he said because on the show he declined the advances. So then why won't you get back home? Why would you keep doing that? And now it is a small town they lived in. And so now you're doing this shit in front of people that know him, and that's even more embarrassing than like thinking
because
about
like
the show,
all the people and they're going to see it, and now they're like, "Oh,
anyway,
now."
Anyway,
and he's like, "No, actually, I'm not." And then this guy is following him around,
but he's following him around and all that other shit. So like that one, I for sure feel bad for Jenny because like she didn't have nothing to do with
that. That's not her fault. You can't help what a person. But again, that's what they said. I can't help what you do. The show was taped however long ago. And then you leave the show, have a whole divorce proceeding, and then you murder this lady in the most heinous way possible.
Think
like
about
I don't know how long and how much responsibility do these shows have to these people. That's like saying they should have
statute
a
of limitations, right?
Like the baddie
think
said.
About how many
people baddies. I'm a shooter.
Girl, they need a therapist at baddie, and they need actual food in the refrigerator. These are every time these bitches go to a restaurant, they never eat. I never see them eating. Like I don't know what that means, guys, but I never see them eating. I only see them drinking and fighting.
But I mean, but that goes to show you with any of these shows, when you put people in confined spaces, when you liquor them up, when you sleep deprive them, you get the very worst of people, and that is anybody, and that goes for any of these dating shows. Love is Blind, They all do the same thing. And what is any of that except for an extension of what we got with this trash daytime TV? Those are just talk shows. Like the OG of reality TV shows. It's like the OG reality TV show. They were getting people face drunk, and then they were taking them to set at 6 a.m. and being like, "Get your drunk ass up there and fight." Like, I know you.
We got Jerry Springer, and then we got the Real World, and then shit just took the fuck off. Ever since the Real World.
So Toby, around 2004-ish, gets a call about a story. A girl calls and says that she is a sex worker, and her dad keeps frequenting the service that she uses for her sex work, and then they keep sending her out to do sexual things with the dad because he's a paying customer. So she wants to confront the dad and tell him, stop it. Don't do that. And this has been going on since she's 16. I thought that Toby was going to say, I called the police because this is obviously illegal. Toby does not call the police. Toby books them a flight to Chicago. The daddy and the girl to Chicago.
But he gave them 2 different hotel rooms.
So put them under aliases if they weren't going to talk to each other.
No, still ain't good enough. You weird. That's nasty. You knew an old man was fucking his daughter and she was underage, and you booked the show. Fuck you, Toby.
Yeah.
I hope you see this, bro. I hope you see this,
bro. A little, but that was
you see this, bro. Fuck you, Toby.
Yeah, I was on his side.
How bad he felt. All of that, I felt bad. Cause my bad. Go ahead. Fuck him though.
No, I was like, I was on his side till we got here because that's crazy. So he says he's just
crazy.
So he's like, well, I went to check on her, which I mean, I guess they learned that you got to check on these people. So he checks on her. Well, the daddy and the girl is they just got finished fucking. And she comes to the door. So he just says, he was like, I can't do it anymore. That was the straw that broke Toby's little coke-addled back.
And what also did he not do? Now, they didn't tell us that girl's age. Maybe she still wasn't underage at that time, but they didn't say that. So if she was, what the fuck did he also not do in that point? Call the fucking police. Fuck.
That's the point. Like he said, this started when she was 16. So however long this has been going on, that he's frequently like, call the police. Call the fucking police, bro. Like, if they tell you the statute of limitations is up on it, okay. But I think it's like 6 years or something. It's like 5 years.
It's still incest is fucking illegal.
Like it's it's something. Like, you can absolutely report the incest. Like you can do that. Anyone trying to do shit.
I hope you see this, Toby. Fuck you. Your dad hates you still, probably. Fuck you.
God. So Toby quits. He just says he packs his shit up, walks out. Like Toby's like, I'm done. He did a no call, no show. So he says Richard calls him from a number he doesn't know, and it's like, you're not coming back, are you? And Toby's like, nah. Then he comes back. Then he comes back for like 2 years.
Yeah, which was weird.
Toby takes a little break. He does a little live, laugh, love tour, whatever they be doing.
A little sabbatical.
Yeah, little Italian sabbatical. Ate some limoncello, whatever. Had to get his life together, read some books, lay on the park bench, frolic with the butterflies. Whatever these white girls be doing when they go on sabbatical. He was doing that. And he comes back and works there for 2 more years. At this point, the lawyers are like, everybody dying, and you keep letting them fight, and people keep trying to sue us.
Right.
And we don't want anybody complaining. So y'all got to stop it. So then by 2008, Richard is gone. And it's not lost on me that 2008 is also when Toby left again. So I believe Richard is still his daddy. Daddy Richard's probably what him 2 extra years. You've been fucking off enough. It's time to come back to work. And he did. And then they tell us that Jerry Springer apparently had the worst show of all time, and that's not it. And then,
per the TV guide.
Per TV guide. And this is where it was crazy because they put on the fucking credits like just a black screen that the show was canceled in 2018, and then that Jerry died in 2023, and it is like this upbeat ass music as the credits.
As the credits roll.
And it was like I said, I didn't say it was a good one. I said it was nostalgic.
And Jerry died in 2023. Like what?
You know how Netflix rolls into "Did you like this or not?" It's like the music ushers you into that shit. Like, hell yeah, I like this,
I enjoyed it. Netflix, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I did.
Sure. Hey, that was it.
But yeah,
it's not. It's
if
a quick
you guys
watch.
want to watch this, if you guys want to watch this, like, I'm an avid weed smoker, and I encourage anybody to smoke weed as long as it doesn't affect your job and your employment. With that being said, weed won't even help you like this documentary. All right,
it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
I think that
it wasn't bad, but I wish this shit came out when we started this show 2-3 years ago. I'll put it that way.
I think they had to tell it from a perspective with what they had. And so if you can't get guests on to tell you a story from their perspective, then you have to tell the story from the perspective you have. Which
it would have been nice to hear from
back
people
together.
Richard and Feder were the most dynamic people in the documentary to me.
I was like, you had to get who you had to get together. You know, they had to get the band back together to save the community center. So that's who they got. So I mean,
shout out to Annette.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to her.
Annette.
She was the only black person
lady's doing it for herself. I hope she landed somewhere doing some better work because she seemed like she knew her shit and she's kind of got wrapped up in some bullshit. So I hope Annette's well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, that was Jerry Springer fights Cameron action. That's it, really. Like I said, it's on Netflix. Really quick run through. I think that's it. Are we good?
Yeah.
Where can they find you guys, Chris? Where can they find you on social media?
Oh, you guys can find me on IG at Chris __ that's KHRIS at KOD Nails. Threads, wherever the fuck. Just look, it's fine. Look for me. It's fine. I'll be here.
See, that she has on her hand, she made those. Look at those. Look at those gorgeous nails.
I did.
Gorgeous. Definitely hit her up. She has amazing stuff. She's great work. High quality nails. Super. Penrose, where can they find you?
Thank y'all.
You can find me everywhere at Penrose on Twitter, at Instagram. Down in the mall. Yeah. I'm probably your baby mama's favorite poet, so you can find me anywhere she listens to great things. And where you won't find me is in the state of Ohio. Where can they find you, VJ?
You can find me on all the platforms at VJ_Burton. If you also want to support my other show, we're coming back next week. It's just me, but it's at Murder v. Rope. So we'll be back. We're going to be covering.
It's my boyfriend's favorite podcast.
Yay! We're going to be covering Anthony Sowell, who was murdering everybody he knew and in his house stunk. So we're going to get into that. But I just been meaning to cover it. So that'll be next week's show. And then Chris has a bevy of shows that she is also on.
Oh, yeah. 420 in Vegas. I'm sorry. 420 in Vegas pod on IG. Just look for 420 in Vegas wherever you listen to podcasts.
So plenty of listening content for you guys. But yeah, I'm at VJ_Burton. And I think that is all we have. And we'll let you know when we decide what we're doing next because I don't think we've decided yet.
I don't think we have. Lots of murder, though. That's for sure.
That's what we're getting into. Somebody's getting killed.
Bye.